Okay, now we will check prototype. What is prototype? So let's say if I created a variable, let's say first name is equal to something, my name I'm storing. Okay, now when I use first name dot, see it is showing some char code at, concat, include, index of, then substring, slice, trim, uppercase, lowercase. Where is uppercase? Yeah, to uppercase, to lowercase. Getting it? Some methods are coming. Okay. In case of where in the variable, what type of data we have stored? String. So some methods are automatically coming. Now, roll number is equal to 1, 2, 3. Now, in case of roll number dot, see only 6 methods are coming. To exponential, to fix, to local string, to precision, to string and value of. Getting it? So in case of number, we are just getting 6 method. Okay. Now, where current date is equal to new date I'm storing. Current date dot. See here totally different methods are there. Get date, get full year, get hours, like that, set month, set year. So according to the data type of the value, right? Whatever the value we have stored. According to the data type, JavaScript attach some method and some way properties to that variable, which we can use. Understood? If you store string, some different method will be available. If you store integer, some different methods will be available. In case of date, some different. Again, in case of array, filter, find, shape, unshape, push, pop, so many different methods are there. Okay. So how these methods are getting attached? Okay. So now when we talk about string, so in JavaScript, string has a base class. So that is nothing but called as a prototype. String prototype, number prototype, and those are the method already present in that string. Okay. Those are the method which are already provided in the string class. Those are the method already provided on the number type, number variable. So according to the data you stored into a variable, some method and some properties will be assigned to that variable. Okay. That is happening because of the prototype. Understood? Getting it or no? So whatever the method and the properties are getting attached to your variable, so that is happening because of the prototype. It checks the prototype of that value, means which for which class it belongs, and according to that it will attach all the methods and the properties to that particular variable. That is nothing but prototype. Very basic definition. Okay. If we see again, JavaScript prototype. Okay. So see, simple definition is like it is an object. It is just an object which get attached by JavaScript engine to array, object, variable, or function. Whatever we create in JavaScript, we can access all those properties and function in the available by using dot operator. So what I have basically said, right? So when you create an object, array, variable, function, ja a object means nothing but it contains method and the properties get attached to your variable by JavaScript engine. And we can access those by using the dot operator. So this is nothing but prototype. Clear? Definition? Everyone, let's see one more definition. If you are able to understand that, that is okay. Otherwise, a more technical, a right technical definition is like, again, this is for higher level only, okay? So prototype is a mechanism in JavaScript that allows objects to inherit properties and method from another object. Because in JavaScript, we can create class also, just like we create classes in .NET, Java, TypeScript. Just like that, we can create class in JavaScript also, right? So by using prototype, we can inherit properties and method from another object also. So this is one more definition also. Means what prototype can does. So prototype, by using prototype, JavaScript engine allows add method and the properties to particular variable also. That is one use. Another use is like prototype is a mechanism by which we can inherit properties from one method, properties of one object to another object also. That is nothing but inheritance. So by using prototype, we can inherit some data from one object to another object also. Okay. Now coming back to this. So this is the definition everyone has to learn properly. Those who are having only Jayesh has that. So he can go with that. Otherwise, everyone can follow this definition only because prototype is very confusing to explain. And it is very confusing to understand also. Ki what do we mean actually by prototype? Because it's just a theoretical part. Means we have practical also. But for beginning, it is just a theoretical. If you understand theoretical, then only you can do the practical. Okay. So whenever you create a variable, according to the data type of that variable, some methods and properties get attached to that variable. That is nothing but prototype. Okay. Clear? Now, so we say ki everything in JavaScript is object. Anyone have heard like this? Everything, whatever we create in JavaScript, ultimately it will belong to the object only. Okay. Now see, how do you check the prototype of this variable? Console.log.
of
I want to check the prototype of this variable. So what I can do, my variable dot underscore underscore proto underscore underscore. Okay. See now what it prints. See, what's the prototype of this variable? What do we have got?
String.
String. Because this data which we have stored, it belongs to the string prototype. So we have got the prototype string. Okay. Again, if we check the prototype of string, again dot underscore underscore proto. What is this? What we have got?
Object.
Object. Okay. So prototype of this variable is string. Again, prototype of string is object. Okay. Similar thing with number also we will try. Roll number, roll number. See, first prototype of this number is number. Again, if we check the prototype of number is again it is object only. Got it? Again, same thing happens over here also. First, it will belong to the date. Then prototype of date is where it is. See, here it is object, but date has so many methods. That's why it is showing as object. But again, if we check the prototype of date, again it belongs to the your object only. Define getter and define setter. Okay. Let's try to create an array where city list Pune. City list, city list. What it is saying? See, first prototype of this variable is you can see array is there. Okay. And again, if we check the prototype of array, again we got the object only. So that's why it is said that everything whatever we create in JavaScript, it belongs to it is object only. Okay. Clear everyone? See, at this moment you won't be able to understand everything, but once you see so many things about the prototype, you have to do the chat GPT, you have to do the Google, see various example of prototype, what is prototype. When you process so many information, then at least something you will be able to answer with confidence. Okay. Now, the definition of another like prototype is a mechanism in JavaScript that allows objects to inherit properties and method from another object. Means by using prototype, we can actually inherit the data from another object to our object. Okay. Now we are going to see the example of it. Now, where student obj is equal to curly bracket. Let's say we have name over here. Chetan, city, Nagpur, and we have some method inside that object. Print name. And here I'm doing console.log name. Name is colon plus name. Okay. Now I have created an object, student object. There I have a function that is print name. In that print name, what I'm doing? I'm printing the, wait, this we need or what? This we need because we are going to emit that also. So by using this context, we will add that. Okay. Now I'm creating another object, employee. Okay. Here also I have the name property, Rahul, city, PMP ID. Okay. Now in student object, by using this method console.log student object dot print name. Okay. Let's comment out the above one. So see, we have this object, and from this object, we are executing this function. And in this function, we are accessing this particular property. So here you can see name is Chetan is getting printed. Okay. Now in employee also, we have name property. So if we want to print name from this employee, kind of like function, instead of accessing directly property, or let's say you want to, let's say here we have first name, middle or last name. Okay. And in print name function, I'm actually going to print the full name, last name. Okay. Now this is my something logic. Now our logic is very simple. We are just concatenating and creating a full name and printing it. But in actual project, you can have multiple line of code. Okay. So consider like you have a student object, inside that you have some field, and based on that field, you are going to do some programming, and output you are going to print. Currently, what we are doing, we are just concatenating the full name. Okay. Now, same logic we have to do in the employee object also. Here also, let's say we have F name, and here also we have L name. Okay. Again, we have to create the same function over here, right? But what if we can inherit this function over here also? This is an individual function. This function is already created in one object. And again, in this also, we have the same requirement that we need to concatenate first name and the last name. Same property name should be there. Okay. Here also property names are same. Here also property names are same. Our logic should be also same. We just need to concatenate and display the full name. So this method is already present over here. So instead of again creating that same method over here, why can't we use this method on this object also? Means we will be inheriting this method into this object. So by using prototype of this object, we are assigning the prototype of this object to this object. Okay. So now employee dot underscore underscore proto is underscore underscore is equal to, I'm assigning student object over here. So what I'm doing, in employee prototype, I'm assigning the student object. Okay. Now if I try console dot log employee dot print name. Okay. See, here also I'm getting Rahul Sara. Do we have this method in this particular object? No. But what we did, to the employee prototype, we assign the student object. Means whatever the method you have it over here, you can access it over here also on the employee object also. So this is the other definition. Prototypes allows you to inherit method and the properties from one object to another object. Understood that definition now? So we are accessing one method from one object to another object, but we assign prototype of that object to our newly created object. So this allows us to reuse also. Reusability also it allows us to do. Clear? Understood or no?
Yes.
Anyone having any doubt? So this is nothing but prototype. So whenever someone asks you prototype, we have two definition. First, whenever we create any variable or whenever we create any variable, some properties and methods get automatically attached to that variable according to the data type. So that is happening because of prototype. That is one definition. Another definition means another use case of prototype is prototypes allows us to inherit properties and method from another object. Understood? These two
सर
hmm.
सपोज मुझे जैसे आपने कंसोल लॉग डॉट में एम्प्लॉय डॉट प्रिंट नेम फंक्शन कॉल किया है,
हाँ,
तो वैसे मैं एम्प्लॉय डॉट सपोज सीटी करूंगी, तो वो
hmm.
कॉन्फिग करेगा क्या नागपुर
यही
जैसे?
करेगा, यही करेगा।
तो क्योंकि स्टूडेंट में भी हम लोग
स्टूडेंट में भी है, लेकिन यहाँ पे देखो ना, अपन ने प्रिंट नेम किया तो उसने यही का कंसीडर किया ना, वहां का कंसीडर
तो
किया क्या इसने? देखो यहाँ पे राहुल और सारा ही प्रिंट किया। ओके, क्योंकि इस मेथड में हम कैसे एक्सेस कर रहे हैं? दिस से, सो दिस विल बिलोंग्स टू योर पर्टिकुलर ऑब्जेक्ट। अपन अभी ये मेथड कहाँ पे कॉल कर रहे हैं? ये एम्प्लॉय पे, तो यही कंसीडर होगा। ओके, क्लियर एवरीवन? सो ये दो डेफिनेशन याद रखो, जिसको जो बताना तो दोनों ही चाहिए। ओके, तब जाके आगे वाला शांत होगा। ठीक है। अब अब थोड़ा सा प्रोटोटाइपल इनहेरिटेंस, मतलब ये भी एक तरह का इनहेरिटेंस हो गया, लेकिन बाय यूजिंग प्रोटोटाइप हाउ टू क्रिएट योर ओन मेथड ऑन पर्टिकुलर डेटा टाइप। ओके, नाउ if we let's say course name is equal to, or let's create a array, that's the basic great example. City list is equal to okay, so we have an array. Now in array, do we have any method which will allows us to get the second last element? In array, do we have any element which will get us second last element or last element also? Is there any ready-made method which will get us second or last element?
So, no.
Right? We don't have it. We can either use filter, find, and again we have to write the custom code. Okay, let's say if I told you I want the last element, how you will do that? How do you get the last element from this array? I want the
Based on
Pune.
index.
Huh. How do you get the last element? I want the Pune.
Pop, sir.
Huh?
Pop method.
No. What does pop will do? What's the use of pop? I
It will
want the
remove.
element. Pop will remove the
Element.
last element, na?
Yeah, yeah,
I
okay,
want
okay.
I want the element which is present at the last position.
Index,
Based on index.
index of length -1.
Right? See, console dot log. Now in your array, elements can be anything, na? So you cannot hard code. See, if you know like how many elements are there, so you can write like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you will write 4. Okay? You will get Pune. But if you don't know how many elements you have, then you cannot hard code this number, na? Let's say this variable value is going to change from multiple places. So how you can know this number? Obviously you cannot. So what you need over here? The last position. So city list dot length. What city list dot length will print? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because length will start from 1, right? So 4 element we have. But if we start with the index, so it will 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. When we say length, see, console console.log. So we got 5. In this array, we have 5 element. But our indexing start from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So city length, our array length minus 1 we have to do. So then we will get the last element. See? Now you don't have to worry about how many elements you have. So when you are extracting the data from your array, you just want to get the length minus 1. So last element you will get. Correct? Understood or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's say now in your project, there are multiple times or multiple scenarios are there where you are going to need the last element. So everywhere you have to do like this. Correct? But instead of, what if we add our own method on the city list array? What if you add your own method which will work on all the arrays? So array dot prototype, on array prototype we are adding our own method, get last element is equal to, let me find the syntax. See, as I told you na ki if you are not writing it daily, you won't remember this. Function and then return and this function. Function, and here whatever the logic we have written over here, city list. But now here you don't have the city list because you are not writing for the city list, you are creating your method on the array, right? So we can access whatever the array you pass it, or in the this you will get it, this square bracket, this dot length minus 1. So now you have created your own method which will work on all the arrays. See, state list. mhmp. Okay. Now instead of using this method, console.log, I'm not sure like before we can access it or not, but check. Before it we cannot access it. See, we got the Pune. So when we actually execute this array will go over here in the this. So here this, let's add a debugger also. So you can actually see what do we get in this. See, you got the array? This dot length minus 1. So same logic, whatever we did over here, that we move to our own function. Now here also, console.log state list dot get last element. See, now second time I got the state list. See, Pune and Punjab you got. Got it? Understand? So this is how you have created your own method on a array prototype. Understood? So this is everything you should know when we talk about prototype. What is prototype? This, how we inherit, and this, how you add your own method on any particular data type. This is more than sufficient. Okay? Clear all?
Yes.
Anyone having any doubt? So this is your prototype. Okay, so definition, like we have two definition, either of one you can explain, but more than 5 years of experience you have, so you have to explain everything, whatever you know about prototype. First definition also, second definition also, this object inheritance also, and how do you add your own method on the any particular data type, this also you should understand. Again, you can create a function with prototype also. Sorry, parameter num. Here also you can pass. Then here also again your logic will change. Okay. Shall we move ahead? आगे देखना है.
Yes.
ओके, तो अभी
Yes,
प्रॉमिस
sir.
देखते हैं.
The call apply bind.
हम्म. अच्छा, कॉल अप्लाई बाइंड रह गया है क्या अपना? ठीक है, पहले कॉल अप्लाई बाइंड बता देता. Okay, now in function we have some properties. On function we have some properties, that is call, apply and bind. Okay, so how does those work? Okay, so let's say you have a function print obj, and in this function you are going to use console.log, and while using the console.log you are going to access the properties by this dot fname comma or plus single quote this dot name. Okay, so I have a function where I'm accessing the properties by using this. Okay, now let's say you have an object stud one obj. Here also you have fname property, lname property, city. Okay, now this this function you can invoke. Okay, but while invoking this function you have to add, see, as I said, na function has some properties, so call, apply, bind, some properties are coming, so you have to use call method, and while calling you are going to pass this object. Okay, function has three properties: call, apply and bind. So first is call, and remember the sequence also: call, apply, bind. Okay, so we are trying to execute this function but by using call property. So we are executing this function but by using call, so we are attaching this object to be invoked along with this function. So when you are passing this object with call, this will contain actually this object. So when you access this dot name and this dot last name, it will actually print Chetan and the Zogi. See now. It is printing Chetan Zogi because in this function, how you are accessing the data by using this. So when you are calling this function, you are binding this object. So this object will get it over here in the this. Let me add a debugger also over here. Every time whenever you are doing practice, always add a debugger, check what you are getting, what you are not getting. So if I hover on the this, see, the whole object you are getting. That's why you are able to access the properties in this function, whatever the properties you have it over here. Okay, let's create another object where employee. Here also we have fname Rahul, and in employee object we don't have full name. Okay, directly employee ID is there. Now print object dot call, and while calling I'm attaching this object over here. Now tell me what will happen, what it will print, what will be the output. Will it break or will it?
Rahul.
Hmm? Repeat one more time. What it will does?
Rahul,
Only Rahul it will print, And in the name, what it will
So,
print?
uh, student object.
Where is the relation of student object? We are calling this function. Forget about this. Let's comment it. Okay. Now tell me, we have this employee object and we are calling this function by attaching this employee object over here. So what this dot name will print and what this dot last name will print? Hmm. Okay,
First name
this
will
will
be
print.
Rahul and
What will be the last name? That's what I'm asking.
I think undefined or not, I'm not sure. So
See, if you have a function, or let's say you have a function with parameter, and while calling that function, you didn't pass the parameter. So what will be the parameter value?
Undefined.
Undefined. If you have an object, inside that object, you don't have a state property and you are trying to access the state property, what it will print?
Cannot access the undefined
Huh?
dot property.
No, na. Arey. You have an object. Inside that object, you have name and city. And you are trying to access object dot state. What it will print? Undefined, na. Something is not there and which you are trying to access. It will be undefined, na. In case of function parameter, you are trying to pass on the function as 3 parameter, but while executing, you just pass 2 parameters. So third parameter will be undefined, na. Same case over here. We don't have that property over here. So this will be undefined, means name will be undefined. First name we have, so it will print. Understood? Yes or no? If something is
yes,
not there, it will be undefined only, na? Correct? Okay. So because we have added a logic, we are directly accessing it over here without checking like this property is there or not. So obviously it will print the undefined.
You are not audible.
Wait. Okay. Audible now? So we have this
Yes, sir.
function, but it has a parameter also. So here parameter you can pass like this. City, I'm hard coded passing. Okay. See now. Let's add a debugger over here. Reload. So city, you got it over here. Getting it? And then city will get printed. City is Mumbai. Okay. Let's say you have one more parameter, state. So again, you will pass it like that. And you can access plus state. Okay. See, here we got city and here we got state also. And it will print also properly. Now here comes the difference. So call and apply both behaves the same. But if a function has a parameter, in case of call, you have to pass it as a comma separated values only. But in case of apply, apply. So print full detail